Hello and welcome everyone to the Live Limitless Summit, where we are focusing all about having conscious, abundant, and empowered relationships. So, in fact, our whole life is a relationship. We have relationship with our parents, with our spouse, friends, business, and even money. And the relationship with you have with everything sets the tone. What you have for yourself sets the tone for every relationship you have in your life. So on that note, I just welcome Dr. Andrea today with us. Welcome, Dr. Andrea, on my show, and I'm super excited to have you today over here with us. So, Dr. Andrea, many call her Dr. G. She is a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, and creative of an energy healing modality called Ray of Light Meridian Therapy. What has evolved from the creation of this energy form is now a certification program for health practitioners, coaches, leaders to transform their life and those of their clients by integrating ray of light meridian therapy to heal their physical, emotional, and spiritual blocks, to lead their healthiest, wealthiest lives while practicing from anywhere. So, Dr. G helps select leaders with personalized support and energy tools to have the greatest impact with ease in their impact, prosperity, and influence. When not focused on spreading the ray of light, she loves spending time in nature with her little ones and family. Super excited to have you, Dr. Andrea. What do you have in your toolbox for our viewers today? Over to you.
Hi, thank you. Yes, so as a naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist, I wanted to contribute in a little bit different way of talking about the relationship with our business. So that is, it's all like Napim said, it's money, it's business, it's relationships, and they all are really integrated. So if any area of our life is lacking, then we can look and know that there's a little bits and pieces to be supported there. So I stepped into something and wanted to teach more about the energetics of our business. And if you don't have a business, you can relate this into your health because they're all, and your relationships and your relationship with money. So as a doctor, it might be like, why is she talking about business? But it really is healing these old stories and learning how to shift our energy quite quickly so that we can step into more wealth consciousness or more business energetic success. Because first of all, I almost avoided this conversation because when I think of business, that word alone makes me feel like not slimy, but I'm like, ooh, business. But actually, as healers, we need to have a better business consciousness so that we can have the most impact, and especially right now on our planet. So I want to share a couple energetic tools to connect in with your business, to shift how you're feeling about your business, and actually just build a relationship with your business. Because if you're similar and you feel like just the word business is hard to connect to, then you're going to see some struggle in your business as well. So offering some different tools. And then also at the end, I would like to provide a grounding exercise because everything is energetics. And our business has a consciousness. So we want to really connect in with it. We want to build that relationship so that we can all thrive. And similar, if you don't have a business, you will still find something beneficial because you can use these in your life.
Definitely. Thank you so much for what you said, I truly believe into it that business is we also have a relationship with business and how we look at it and how it is. Definitely, I totally agree to whatever you said. So before we begin, before you open the toolbox, before you just blow us with your tools, I would like to know about your journey, even doctor. What made you choose this stream, and just a little bit of about you?
Yeah, thank you. And I love that you just voiced that you're like business. It's like I thought you'd talk about ray of light, and it all relates. And I want to provide a little shift of our consciousness around business too. So it is interesting that I'm not like talking about the energy form I've created. I'll mention it right now as you asked, but I just did this whole workshop a week ago and I was kind of hesitant to talk about the energetics of business. And then that was actually my favorite topic because I was able to shift my energy with it. So a little bit about myself. So I grew up in Alaska and was always intuitive, always kind of there to support other people. I thought I would go into veterinary school. And through life, just how life just serendipitously happens, I found naturopathic medicine. And it was just, when I went to that school, I was like home. I always would get these intuitive hits. Like if I felt like I was home, that was my next step. And so I started naturopathic school thinking I would also be actually a midwife. And when I was in schooling, I learned more about acupuncture. And I went to one of those, intro to acupuncture. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to learn this too. So I actually did 6 years of naturopathic medical school with acupuncture in Oregon. And and went to births because I was going to kind of wrap it all up into one. I really love supporting women and empowering women. And births was one way that I could do that. I found some different ways. So I don't do births right now. And through the naturopathic school, you learn the basic tenets. For me, what really comes through is that we really look at supporting the root cause of your disease. And I don't even like saying your disease. It's not yours. You've been given a diagnosis, and for naturopaths, we investigate the root cause. So we're looking at different lab values. We're looking at different stress levels. Are you sleeping? How are you eating? Do you exercise? Because if you don't do those basic things, we're like, well, let's shift the terrain. And then fast forward to what happened in March with the coronavirus. Most of the acupuncture clinics closed. I had worked in urgent care in the past. I knew that wasn't for me anymore. Like I wasn't in the clinic. I had my own clinic, but I had a smaller clinic. I have small kids. And I was like, I'm not really comfortable opening up my clinic and worrying about just all the things that go into that. And I was actually kind of moving my practice online a little bit more, focusing a little bit more on females and root chakra support. But the coronavirus came. And through some specific mentoring, one of the business coaches I work with, she said, well, you're really actually supposed to create an energy form to using acupuncture. And I was like, okay, I had been practicing energy acupuncture anyways, but I hadn't told anyone. It was like, I was doing different meditation programs, and I was like, well, why can't we do acupuncture on anyone? Like, you're in India, and energetically, it's as if you're in front of me if I'm really focused on my intention and attention. Energy is energy, so it will flow wherever you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I very rapidly, the first week of the coronavirus in Oregon, that was in March, I created a form. It kind of just came divinely. It was, it's a form of guided visualization and light therapy and the ability to access your energy meridians from anywhere. So I know you're learning acupuncture right now, but ultimately through this form, I can access your energy meridians and guide you through some visualizations. It's about 45 minutes. And at the end of it, you feel physically more clear. Any discomfort you have is often resolved. You feel emotionally more open. You feel spiritually more connected and open. And I've created it to be in group format. So I do one-to-one, but I really teach my students how to do it in groups, because when we come together in groups of people, the shift is actually even more exponential, because we're bringing in, let's say, 8 different people's consciousness, and we're not really going into the big story of our whatever diagnosis we may have or the discomfort. We're stating our discomfort emotionally and physically in a group of 8 to 9 people, and then going through the form. So when you're supporting, it's like you have that consciousness. So instead of me just holding you, right, it's 9 people and we're all holding each other.
Wow.
Which is actually, that's like building relationships. That's like that could be like what we talked about as well. So through that, I really stepped into wanting to empower health coaches or health practitioners and coaches, because it is really important to build a business that's not relying on a brick and mortar. Because here we are, they said 2 weeks, and here we are, it's November, October, it's November. Yeah. and we don't really know we're in the winter now for a lot of places. So we don't really know what's still happening. So part of this was really to empower healers to have some diversity in their business and not just rely on one-to-one care,
Wow.
which is amazing and I do love. But so that's really where the business part came. I'm like, okay, well, if I have students, I also want to teach them how to transition online. Not that they may still have a brick and mortar, but how do you transfer online? And I'm like, okay, well, then if we're talking about a business, we need to talk about the energetics of business because there's so much that goes into that.
Lovely. I'm really excited to just dive deeper more into this topic and know how we can, how you access business energetically.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So it is. Um, it really is a couple good questions just to assess the energetics of your business. Is when you think about your business as if it were a separate consciousness, what do you feel? Some people will say they feel fear or they feel frustration or they feel stagnation. And whatever emotion they have connected, we can clear that energetically. So I have part of the gift today is a business assessment
Amazing.
so that we can identify, oh, you have some meridians, like let's say fear. So we know the kidneys is the storage of kidney and bladder. Then
Yeah.
let's really support you with some movements for you because your business is a reflection of you, but it still has a separate consciousness. So as you clear your fear, we can also support the meridians of fear in your business and kind of ground that out as well.
Okay.
So I always like by assessing your business, just by checking in. It can be a quick check-in, it can be a quick journal. How am I feeling about my business today? And getting some feedback. Well, I'm feeling frustrated or I'm feeling joy. And if you're feeling joy and movement and things are going, then great. Like you have good energetic movement. But if you're feeling the lower emotions, we want to address those organs that are in the different meridian systems. And then just asking, do I feel like my business is thriving or do I feel like my business is starving? And that gives you some more information. And because we really want to focus on how you feel in your business, because how you feel in it is your business is gonna kind of align itself energetically. So some things you just want to become more aware of what you're feeling about it. Other things that you can do is kind of ground your business onto earth, right? Because sometimes I recognized a couple months ago, I was like, oh, when I think about my business, it's sort of floating above. It's just sort of this thing that's floating above the ground and sort of like in just around me. And I'm like, well, wait, how about I ground that into the earth? Because my ultimate goal for Ray of Light Meridian Therapy is that I have students, but that we also move into conscious companies that want to support their teams and their employees in a much different way to not only support their discomfort and stress, but build more team cohesion and innovation and all of that. So this ripple effect of Ray of Light. So to imagine that grounded really, really can help.
So,
And
doctor, I have a question out here. So, when
yeah,
you said that you imagined that your business was floating, so how did, how does it affect your business? What is the reason, like when your business is floating and when you grounded it, what difference did it make?
yeah. I felt like it was still sort of in the idea phase.
Okay.
Like, how you can have these, it was still kind of like literally in my brain, I had all these ideas, but I hadn't quite, and I've spoken about them, which does help, but I hadn't quite visualized it planting itself on the earth.
Okay.
And then almost like root, like a tree. It's almost just like we can hold a tree and a seedling, but at some point it does need to be in the ground
Yes.
and have that nourishment. So it was kind of that, like creating the ideology and the different thoughts about it. And I was like, oh, well, I have a lot of thoughts, but how would I ground those into the earth? So even that visualization, now Ray of Light, when I do some visualizations with it, it is grounded. Yeah, so that's great.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
My doubt.
Yeah, exactly. So the big things are assessing how you feel, grounding it, which I'll end with a little bit of a grounding exercise. And then something that I started doing was writing writing to my business and just building a relationship with it, to which is like, you can do that with a partner, you can do that with money, you can do that with your health, all of these different phases, right? Because we're talking about, relationships and how do we bring more consciousness and love into all of our relationships. So when you write, I might be able to write, I can write my business and ask like, hey, this is working, but this part isn't. Like I just wrote it. I try to do it every weekday. And like last week, I got some epiphanies of where I was focusing my time. And my time wasn't focused in all the different aspects that I wanted. And so I just was like, I got these big epiphanies of like, oh, now I can really have a plan that I don't need to focus on one aspect, which, right, you could say that with a relationship. Like, oh, you just do this thing, but how do we expand the perspective and gain more insight so that the relationship feels more seen and heard and is given the attention it needs. So it sounds strange to write your business,
Yes.
but once you start, it's freeing. It gives you because you could even write and say, I'm really frustrated. Or you could write money and say, I'm really frustrated. Like what in the world is happening? Or you could write your husband if you weren't quite ready to have a conversation. And even in writing your husband, not that he would ever see it, could really give you some movement because you might gain some perspective that you hadn't seen before.
Yes.
So sometimes I think of journaling as like being a teenager, because you would write about, I don't know, that was the only time I would write was like about boys or something. Yes. But now I really integrate it to build my relationships.
Lovely. I would definitely try that out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I really do that. And when you identify how you're feeling blocked in your business, there's some different things that you can do to move that energy, like even just movement for yourself. Like if you're feeling stagnant, I, did this workshop and I showed this just dancing, like just if you're like, wow, I'm feeling really stuck, turning on, and you can do this with your kids, you can do this with your relationship, it's same, like turn on some music and kind of just do it could be 1 minute, it could be 4 minutes where you just shift the energy and your heart starts beating. It's like exercise, but music is, music kind of connects us back into that intuitiveness. And once we know what you're feeling in your business, we can access those energy meridians. And I do like to integrate visualization and meditation into supporting your business because visualization is and imagination is really how we live, but we just actually use more negative imagination, right? We're always worried about the what ifs. Oh my gosh, but what if we spent at least 15 minutes a day visualizing the things we do want, or the business successful, or the successful relationship? Because, like that brain does not on our side a lot of the time. Right. And so that's 95% of our day that we're using negative visualization.
Yes.
We don't think about it quite like that, but it really is what's happening.
Yes, we are on that autopilot mode that we don't even realize what are we thinking and what thoughts and visualization we are doing it. We're really not aware in the day-to-day life.
Yeah. So it's bringing consciousness into your daily life, because that will ripple into your relationships with money, your relationships with your partner and your kids, and all of those different areas. So it is really it's transferable. And so I wrote the different things like dancing, grounding it, gratitude, dreaming with it. So that's the journaling, and then meditation. So I would love to just talk about an easy meditation for businesses. Does that sound?
Yes. Please go ahead with that. And we'd like to go with that process with you.
Okay, good. So often, so same thing. You can do this with a partner, family, money. We're doing business, but I like to, does it feel good to talk about it and then do it? Does that feel?
Yes,
okay.
You would like to go. I would like you to take us through that meditation process. So
okay. Perfect. There you go. Stepping into the, meditation, like sharing the meditations, as much as we can, for sure. So I like to visualize my business in a pyramid. because pyramids are actually quite grounding and transforming, and there are studies that show that it boosts your immune system. Just, it really is a container of transformation. So I imagine my business as if it were in a 3-dimensional golden pyramid. And again, like I said, it was kind of floating. And so in my visualization, I'm like, okay, let's take, in my business, at least what I'm really growing is the ray of light meridian therapy. So I imagine it being rooted onto the earth, and then actually connecting it up to source or God or the whatever word really works for you, and bringing that light through the business and imagining these rays of light from the business into the earth. So sometimes people might say, I don't have a business, but you might have an idea of a business. And what does that there? You might want to write in a few things of what you would want in that pyramid, and so that becomes rooted into the earth. And imagine, so actually imagine the ray of light, the roots going all the way around to earth, because then it's connecting to all the people that are ready for this type of healing, this type of program. And again, for each person that has a business, it can be whatever you want and what your big dreams and goals are for the business, because the more you can ground it into the earth, we're calling, and but also I like connecting up to source, because then we're like creating this limitless support. And then the rooting is like, because we are of both places, right? We're on the earth, but we have this higher support system.
Yes.
So
Wow.
Shall we do it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm ready. I love it. Okay, good. Okay, so what we will do is I'm gonna, go ahead and close my eyes, and I'll have everyone that's watching go ahead with me. So just make sure you're comfortable. And I do like to clear our energy, so we're gonna do an easy clearing just so we're relaxed. So first, by closing your eyes and taking 3 deep breaths in, and as you breathe in, expanding, and as you release all that's no longer serving you down into the earth. Expanding on the inhale and just releasing anything from the day. Good. So we're actually going to connect ourselves to source. So from the top of the head, there's a point called Do 20. We're going to imagine that point with a golden string go all the way up to this beautiful globe of source energy. And as we connect it in, we're allowing then the source energy to flow to ourselves and our body. It's going to flow over the outside of us and clear any energy that's just feeling kind of irritated or frustrated, or if we've been on computers all day, it's kind of clearing all of that electromagnetic frequency around us. So through on the outside of our body, almost as if we're in this sea of golden light. And we're going to clear on the inside of our body. So through the brain, just helping more relaxation through all the facial muscles, through the neck and the shoulders and the arms into the fingertips, down the back, through all the organs, just giving us a clear, clean slate, releasing anything that's no longer serving us, filling us with the highest golden light of pure love, moving through all the energy centers, down the legs, into the feet, and grounding us all the way into the center of the earth. Because as our business is a part of us, it still has its own consciousness. But we want to ground and clear our energy field. And so now, imagining your business inside of a pyramid, and it could be the names, depends on how you see things. It could be visualizing the entire business if it's a physical structure inside this big, beautiful pyramid. And we're going to plant it on the earth. So you might, if you're actually wanting to put it somewhere, imagining it in that place. For me, mine is more online, but I want to plant it on the earth. So this pyramid coming down onto the earth with all of the aspects of my business that are positive and flowing. And inside this beautiful golden pyramid are all those aspects. And as it plants onto the earth, we're going to do a similar thing. So from the top of the pyramid, we're going to imagine a golden thread going all the way up to source connecting in with source, and source flowing the highest golden light around the pyramid, through the top of the pyramid, into the pyramid, infusing all of those positive creations that you're ready to expand in your business, floating in this beautiful golden light. And then imagining that light flowing through the bottom of the pyramid and growing roots. And some of the roots go straight down into the center of the earth. And the rest of the roots actually float and flow inside the first couple layers of the earth, all the way around the earth. So we're really encompassing. So especially if you have an online business, because this gives you the permission to reach the billions and millions of people that are ready for you. So rooting your business on the earth and imagining these golden roots flowing all the way around. And we're going to do one more thing. We're going to imagine little like golden leaves coming out in different parts of the planet. And this might give you some clues of where your business is really going to thrive, although it's still that you have a limitless abundance of people ready for your business. And we'll take a few breaths here because you are rooted and now your business is rooted. Feeling that you are together and yet separate gives you the freedom and gives your business the freedom to grow as needed. So really feeling into that. And then with 3 more conscious breaths, so breathing in. As you breathe in, you're actually going up to source and into the earth and back into your body and back into your business. So it goes up and down and back into your business. And one more time. Good. And then gently moving and coming back into your body, knowing that you can ground your business every Monday, every week, connecting in with it, asking it what it needs. And yeah, you can do it once a month once you really feel that growth and that movement and that connection. So
that was awesome, and it gave a different insight about my business even. Thank you so much for this lovely meditation, Dr. Andrea.
yeah, thank you. I hope it serves as many people that can see this so that you just have different ways to work with it. Everything is energy, and we have ways to really ground into things and expand and shift our own energy as well. So.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. So before we wind up, Dr. Andrea, do you have any last few tips for our viewers which they can take away? Anything we would like to just mention it to them right now?
Yeah. Well, as a healer, I believe that all of us have our healing, an innate ability to heal ourselves and others. So the more we can come inward and remember that connection, the more impact and expansion we have. So we don't often think of ourselves as healers. So I have a friend, that's in accounting, and she's like, well, I'm not really a healer. I'm like, yes, you are. I'm like, you're in accounting. Of course you are. So really opening up this idea that we really can heal anything, to unattach our labels of diagnoses or diseases that have been given to us, and really being able to know that we can heal anything. So with the Ray of Light Meridian Therapy that I created, it goes on that basis. It teaches you how to upgrade your DNA, how to feel physically free, emotionally free, spiritually free, so that you can be the most that you are meant to be on this. Right now, especially, our world needs us to be conscious, awake, present. And so the more we can do that together, then the better. And so I have, again, my offerings are, I do one-to-ones, and I do a certification program, which also helps you build your business online.
Yeah.
And really expanding to support as many people as possible.
Lovely.
And my free handout is your business assessment. So we'll have that attached as well. So
Thank you so much, Dr. Anya. And if people want to find you, where they can find you?
yes, so my name here is at the bottom. So it's actually drandreagreiner.org. That is my website. There's all the different resources and the quiz there as well. And I am quite active in my Facebook group, which is Ray of Light Meridian Therapy. That's I know Nipam is there too, so she's been watching. And so I do go live. I like to give meditations. I like to give tools and reminders of how powerful you are. So that's a great place. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. How did we get so lucky to have that kind of awareness from you, Dr. Andrea?
Yeah.
Really thanks for you for being us and making it for this show for my viewers and transform their life. Thank you, viewers, for being with us. Let me know
Yes.
your takeaways. You can connect with us virtually on my Facebook group where I go deeper in every topic with other speakers too. We can get in touch virtually that way. So, till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and love yourself a little more. Thank you, Dr. Andrea. Bye, everyone. See you all
Bye.
soon. Bye.